Hello guys, and welcome to my channel where I'll be covering Pokemon what ifs. So, I'm going to be doing a what if that I've been thought of for a long time, which is, what if Ash was sponsored by Erika? Now, you may be wondering how this would work. Well, all we would have to do is change the story slightly. So, with that being said, let's get into it. So, our story would begin with a young Ash Ketchum and his mother on a shopping trip in Celadon City, where Ash, being Ash, would ask his mum for something Pokemon related. And this is where Ash bumps in to a young lady. After this, Ash gets up and apologizes. The young lady simply laughs and says that it's alright, as Ash's mother then apologizes again, and the lady says again that it's alright, as she introduces herself as Erika, the gym leader of Celadon City. Now, this gets Ash excited, as he's never met a gym leader before. So he begins to ask lots of questions about what it's like to be a gym leader. And after Ash has finished asking his questions, Erika asks Ash if he likes Pokemon, which he replies that he does. So, Erika asks Ash if he would like to come watch one of her battles, which Ash says yes. So, after that, Ash and his mother then head to the Celadon gym, where Ash watches a battle between Erika and a trainer, with Erika's Glue versus a trainer's Rattata, let's say. And seeing this, Ash begins to gain admiration for Erika. Well, eventually, after a few more days of this, Erika then makes the offer to sponsor Ash. Now, Ash being Ash is very excited about this. Ash's mother then asks Ash if he wants to be sponsored by Erika, with Ash thinking about it, and after a couple of minutes, he says that he does. And so, with that, Ash and his mother say goodbye to Erika, as they then head back home. So now we have a time skip to when Ash is 10 years old. So Ash being Ash is thinking about what Pokemon he would start his journey with. And since Ash is being sponsored by Erika, and after watching a few battles, he would have a very strong admiration for grass-type Pokemon. This will be important a bit later on in the story. Now, Ash still oversleeps here, but there is a knock on the door. As Ash goes to answer the door, he sees Erika there with two other trainers. Now, these two trainers are the other two people that Erika would have sponsored. So, after letting them in, Erika introduces the two trainers. The first one is a boy with a bit scruffy hair, similar in a national way, who introduces himself as Richie. Now, the other person is a young girl who is a bit shy at first, and her name is Leaf. Now, with that out of the way, Erika brings all three of them outside and presents 3 Pokeballs. So, she then throws the Pokeballs up in the air, and out appear 3 Pokemon. The first one being a Bellsprout, the second being an Oddish, and the third being a Paris. Now, the reason they are all these Pokemon is because with Erika sponsoring Ash and these 3 Pokemon, trainers, all 3 of them have grown a very strong admiration for grass types. So, now we come to the 3 of them choosing their Pokemon. So, Ash, being Ash, gets to choose his first. So Ash gets to choose his first. So after thinking about it, after looking at all of them, one Pokemon catches his eye particularly. that being the small flower Pokemon. So when Ash locks eyes with that, he goes down to kneel to it. And this Pokemon announces its name, Bellsprout. Now, after this, Ash and Bellsprout immediately form a bond. So, now with Ash getting Bellsprout, this leaves the other two with either Oddish or Paris. So, Richie is the next to pick. And I think it was Richie, one sec. Yeah, sorry about that, I had to look over my notes. Richie picks Oddish. So this leaves Leaf with the Paris. And now, after this, Erika wishes them all good luck on their journey as she leaves. Ash, Richie and Leaf all promise to meet each other again as they all go their ways. So now we come to Route 1 with Ash and Bellsprout bonding, with Ash telling Bellsprout about his dreams to become a Pokemon Master. And this is where the first encounter happens. Now, in the canon timeline, this would be around where Pidgey appears. But in this timeline, it is not a Pidgey. It is a Rattata. So Ash calls forth Bellsprout to battle the Rattata. And since this Bellsprout has made a good bond with Ash, this goes quite well for Ash. As the Rattata is beaten after a couple of Vine Whips. And so Ash throws a Pokeball, and after about 3 shakes, Ash catches the Rattata. So with this, a couple of things do not happen that would have happened in the original timeline. So, because Ash caught this Rattata, the Spearow incident does not happen, meaning Ash won't meet Misty. Yet. The reason I say yet is because I've got plans for her as the story goes on. So, now that that's out of the way, we then continue on to Viridian City, where Ash decides to spend the rest of the day there, the rest of the day at the Pokemon Center, training his Bellsprout and Rattata. And because of this, Rattata is able to learn Hyper Fang, and Bellsprout is able to learn Growth. So and now there's something I need to mention. Because Ash has been sponsored by Erika in this timeline, he's not very stupid as he is in the original timeline. He at least knows his type matchups, what Pokemon are, as he already does. So, yeah. So now, after the training session and after spending the night in the Pokemon Center, Ash then heads into Viridian Forest. Where in this, Ash decides to, battle a few trainers in there, get some experience, get some more battle experience with his Rattata and Bellsprout before he leaves the forest. Now, as Ash continues on through the forest, he encounters the samurai. That came out of nowhere and startles Ash a bit before the samurai apologizes for scaring him. Now, the samurai then challenges Ash to a battle, which Ash, being Ash, would accept. So this battle begins with Samurai's Pinsir versus Ash's Rattata. Now, because of the training Ash did back in Viridian, the Rattata is able to defeat Pinsir after a couple of quick attacks, tackles, and then a Hyper Fang. So then Samurai then sends in his Metapod, with Ash swapping out his Rattata for Bellsprout, as he wants to get Bellsprout some battle experience. Now, this plays out pretty well for Ash as it goes on, with Bellsprout first using Growth, and then using a couple of Vine Whips, which then knocks out the Metapod, giving Ash the win. Now, because of this, Ash and the Samurai decide to head to Pewter City together to get their Pokemon healed. So they arrive at the Pokemon Center. And then we come to Ash and Samurai waiting for the Pokemon to be healed, where Ash decides he wants to take on the League. And since there's a gym in Pewter, Ash heads there. And since Samurai's here, he decides to go watch the battle. Now, hang on a sec. Ash and Samurai then arrive at the gym, and they see Brock sitting on his little platform. So then Ash announces that he wants to challenge Brock. So Brock snaps his fingers, and that scene where the field appears plays. So Ash starts the battle with Rattata, and Brock sends out Geodude. Now this doesn't go too well for Rattata, as it's defeated rather quickly. So Ash then swaps out Bellsprout, who makes quick work of Geodude with the type advantage. Now this is where Brock sends out his Onix. But despite the type advantage that Ash's Bellsprout has, the Bellsprout still loses against Onix, which Ash is kind of down about. So as he leaves the gym, Flint would appear and would help Ash train a bit. So while training, Rattata would learn Focus Energy, and Bellsprout would learn Poison Powder. So then after this training, Ash and the Samurai would head back to the gym, where Ash would have a rematch with Brock. Now, the first match is Rattata versus Geodude, and this time, Rattata gets the victory after landing a critical Hyper Fang, which is good for Rattata. So the next battle is Onix, and Onix makes quick work of Rattata, leaving Ash to send out his Bellsprout. Now, because of the training they did, Ash decides to use Bellsprout's Poison Powder to poison the Onix, giving it damage over time. And now, because of this, Ash then uses Vine Whip. Ash's Bellsprout uses a few Vine Whips, and the Poison Powder helps knock out the Onix. So this earns Ash his Boulder Badge, as Brock and the Samurai congratulate him on his victory. Flint appears to tell Brock to go follow his dreams, so Ash then joins Brock. Brock joins Ash. After saying bye to the Samurai, who said he's going to head back to Viridian Forest to challenge another trainer from Palette when they come around. We'll get to who that is later on in the story. So after saying goodbye, they all go their separate ways, with Ash and Brock heading towards Mount Moon. Sorry about that. So we then arrive. So Ash and Brock then arrive at Mount Moon, where they meet a scientist being attacked by Zubat. Now Ash as a Rattata helps out the scientist, helps the scientist, who then introduces himself as Seymour. And then after that, the three of them then head into Mount Moon. So once inside, the trio run into Team Rocket. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is it Jesse and James? It is not going to be Jesse and James. The Team Rocket duo that they run into are Butch and Cassidy. So, Brock and Ash call on Bellsprout and Zubat, which Brock caught outside just now, to defeat Butch and Cassidy, sending them blasting off, as Team Rocket does. So, and now we get to the end of Mount Moon, the ending of that episode in the original anime, where they all meet the moon, where they all encounter the Moonstone, and the Clefairy do their dance. And so, as Ash and Brock leave Mount Moon, one of the Clefairy tugs on Ash's jacket, signaling to Ash that it wants to go with him. So Ash then catches the Clefairy, and then bringing his team to 3. So his team consists of now his Bellsprout, his Rattata, and now a Clefairy. So after this, Ash and Brock then say bye to Seymour, and then they head to Cerulean City. And that's for part 1 of this series. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and part 2 will be coming soon. Thank you very much. See ya.